where there is a scout in play, where the scout does enough maiming that the pistols finish things off later on. So you saw that Device was, he was a lone ranger there, making his way out with the scout, doing some initial damage, which there's a fair chance that'll get finished off later on. Astralis playing in the sites. Again, when the map was new, many eco rounds, or force buys rather, from CT sites, they just stayed in sight, although Astralis now on the move towards Connector. I think they're going to boost outside Connector looking into the window. And there's another tag.
Yeah.
I think if there are 3 tags before an Astralis player is picked off, I would almost favor Astralis to win the round.
And this in the past has been an issue for Immortals. If there's a scout on the map like this, the worst possible thing is to allow Device to just have free reign like this. You kind of want to group up, you want to use your utility, you want to prevent the scout from being able to get these picks because, okay, no kills just yet, but 2 tags, he can very well get another one. And those deagles, his pistols start to become incredibly deadly. Just one shot and you can get a kill off those things. Device, he's still alive at the moment, although these players are coming in. Another tag. So he's done a lot for his team here, but can they close down these weakened players? Yeah, this is huge damage. Glaive with a 2k. The numbers slightly in favor of Immortals, and now it's much better. Defects alone with the 5-7. Pulse is still full health, and Henny really needs to wait for his teammates to come and join him. The time, though, that was really awkward. 7 seconds on the clock, but they make it work. And there's a very weird science around those rounds where there's a scout and the scout starts to tag people, because so often when we commentate these matches, we see the team with the guns just play slow, and the tags continue and continue. Yep. And I really feel like that weird vacuum, needs to be looked at in how you approach with like an anti-scout strategy, in fact, when that kind of thing is going on. And it's got to be map dependent as well. Yeah, and it can be a double-edged sword to use smoke grenades in some respects, because then the pistols, if they're close, they can actually play around the smokes pretty effectively, and it can get a bit awkward, but we'll see.
3-man boost.
Yeah, a cheeky 3-man boost, just with the USPs here, and just no buy whatsoever. Of course, from Astralis, they need this full save to buy in the next round, but one argument is, a lot of teams, they just say, you know what, we're just going to go monster tunnel. Use some nades. If they have a scout, there's nothing that they can really do, and we'll have the bomb down. So they eliminate a lot of variables that way. But Immortals, again, very passive here, and they just don't want to take any risks so far, and all they have really is one man, which is Steel, moving down through Connector, and that can be dangerous when there's a lot of pistols on the server, because they'll often congregate around these close quarters, and Steels alone could give up an AK-47 potentially. He's the guy with the only grenades on the team, so definitely a risk, and Astralis are going to rotate here. In that respect, we have seen some development with the approach of T's on the anti-eco through Connector, where they'll come in towards the upper area at the same time, and it makes life very strangling for the side. Got to be careful now. The bomb's been spotted for the CTs, and now the bomb has been lost. KNG simply hanging around too long. Like, why is he there that long on his own with the bomb? There are 30 seconds left. Fortunately, some more CTs have been picked off, so it should be salvageable, but they really need to get that bomb quickly. Kiabi's got an AK, Lucas getting picked off, and Henny has finally rescued it. But it's unnecessary errors like that which can be the difference between winning and losing. Like, you don't need to stand there and kill every single player, when if you die, there are colossal problems for your team. That's very true. And I mean, if Kiabi even just saves this AK, that is really huge. Into the next round, you're going to save yourself, obviously, the 2,700. Well, even more than that, because if you buy up an M4, you're going to be spending 3,100 there. So, really nice for Kiabi to save that additional money. Means more grenades, perhaps later on.
The AK can make the difference, though.
That's very true.
M4, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
2 players shoot each other in the head. If you're first with the CTs and you have an AK instead of an M4, then that might be the round. And also with Kiabi, again, as I mentioned previously, he's often going to be, if they go for an aggressive play towards the fountain on the A side of the map, he's going to be the guy that's going to push towards the bench. So he's going to be the guy that will get flashed in, to try to make that play. So at least that's typically how it has been in the past. I'm not sure if they've mixed it up for this major. As mentioned, they have taken a tournament off to prepare for this major. So there could be quite some changes, as it's once you're on the top, everybody's looking at you, everyone's got all that data on you and how you play. You've got to be able to mix it up. Being on top is hard. So it's buy time, the buy round, they're all important, and for me it's all eyes on Immortals. I'm going to have a personal focus on Immortals because I do feel like they are the underdog, so I'll leave you to focus on Astralis. That doesn't mean I'm contemplating one half of the match, but
I'm interested to see what they can do. Astralis with a very fast takeoff B. The flashbang is perfect. There's a 2k from them. That is a very strong start to the round. Immortals immediately almost completely disabled. 5 versus 3 with a minute 30 on the clock. Not the start they wanted.
And again, it's something that Astralis are good at. They'll take an aggression, a quick aggression. They'll find the best ways to make it safe with utility, and then they'll get straight out of there. And sometimes they do it in a way in which they may not get frags from it, but the opponents will feel the pressure, and they'll have to invest utility and then taking that part of the map away. Because you might see Astralis pushing, making sure their opponent knows about it, and they'll fall back before they even take an engagement, just to create questions, just to burn utility for the T's. And it's the philosophy of playing aggressively to play passively, effectively, essentially. That's the ethos there.
For those of you in GoTV, on the CT side, I would recommend Device, because he's kind of like the Shang Tsung of AWPers at this point. He's kind of absorbed the souls of everybody else and tried to make himself an amalgamation of all of them. On the T side, Dan, who would you opt for?
Oh, to watch?
Yes.
On the T side?
Yes.
Pretty good Bolts, actually, although he's the IGL.
Yeah, I was between Henny and Bolts, but what he would do. Anyway, Immortals pushing with what remains of them onto the B bomb site, and they might just get a chance to plant the bomb. Pre-picked off by Henny as well. Henny, a wild AWPer and dependable. He delivers the kills. Instead of KNG, well, needs to on this occasion, can't quite do it. So, do they realize where Henny is? There are 2 angles you can play around the barrel position, and it will be Henny missing the first shot and gets a fast shot onto Divide. Tries to fake with a pistol, not quite going to work out, and now he needs to save. Astralis win a round.
Yeah, and it's obviously a very important round to win for Astralis, that first buy round. Obviously, previously, Kirby had saved the AK, picked up a couple kills with it, and actually built up quite a lot of money there, saved the AWP for his team. And here's that aggression we saw towards the tunnel, basically blowing up the attempt to take over sewers from the Immortals. And that's not only 2 kills, but it's also, it forces the T side to be in a position where it's like, okay, whatever plan we had in this round, we've got to now make a new one on the fly to try to win this round. They did a good job trying to get that round 1. Got the bomb down and everything, got some kills, got some damage in there. Very valiant attempt for Immortals. And now here is their opportunity to potentially put pressure on the wound.
Dupree and Kiabi fishing towards long. Not quite getting anything, but again, that kind of presence will force Immortals' slow approach to this round to continue to be slow. There's a minute 10 on the clock, so we'll see how long it takes them to, for example, get towards the toilets position. Because Lucas, Henny, KNG haven't really moved just yet.
And look, this is exactly what I was talking about. You can see that Astralis had like a 4-player investment, and it kind of looks like they're going to be aggressive. The T's feel the aggression, but then they fall all the way back without really taking any proper engagements for kills, and they completely change the setup. It's hard to read, and Boss doesn't care about reading it. He's just going to go for an entry play. Doesn't work out. Now Immortals are down to 4 men. And Astralis are really in control of this round so far, but there's still a salvageable situation with 35 seconds remaining.
It's taken them 35 seconds to make their way towards the toilets as well, Immortals. So Astralis bought in themselves a lot of time, and now they're all passing Kiabi, and I don't think anyone's going to check this position. So if his teammates can employ some delay tactics, killing is a good one from Device, and Kiabi can come in from the back and completely shut this round down.
Man, honestly, Astralis, they are so good on this. This is again why the desk was so kind of dumbfounded by the choice here for Immortals to go to Overpass. I think, again, this is very early days, but that's a round which can show you how dynamic the entire team can be, because they have these aggressions. They've got, you know, situations also where when Device first picked up the AWP in the previous round, he's playing on B, and this is the thing with Device. You kind of usually expect him to maybe be anchoring around A long, but he actually just moves all over the place. It's very hard to predict where he's going to be, so to counter him, you can't really do it very effectively because it's so unpredictable. And here he goes. Oh, it's got a wealth of targets to go for. It's like a kid in a candy shop. Which one do I pick? And now Kirby's there to cover him as well. It's a massacre, James.
Ooh, it is a massacre indeed. It is a tombola of heads rolling out one by one. Almost got random. 4 versus 2. At this point, Kiabi's done his job, and Dupree is there. He's got flashbang support from a teammate as well. Now the grenades are flying in. He does not ban balloons. There go the balloons. He gets tagged down to 1 HP. Nothing going the way of Immortals at the moment. 1 HP. Just one more. Could have been great, but it wasn't enough. I know there are some people at home who will get that 99 damage, and the next round they'll pace it in chat. 99 damage. Nobody cares. You've got to kill. If you don't kill, it doesn't matter if it was 99, 97. Nobody gives a crap.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how Immortals will sort of survey the situation, because in the interview we saw that there's been preparation here for Immortals, a lot of preparation. Of course, it's the major. Of course, there has been, but specifically for this team and map. So I'd wonder if they will just go to like fast B plays, and because that's a great solution. If it's hard to predict a team, if they're taking too much map control away from you, just hit those right B set pieces with good timing, and you can kind of give yourself the right advantages to at least harm their economy. Because this is the danger. If Astralis get too strong of an economy, then it's like a snowball effect.
The only time people do care, actually, is if you like to shoot someone with an orb through a wall, and it does 5 in 1. But still, it's not reasonable to pace it in chat. Just don't do it. Kirby around the toilets once again, but he's repositioned towards the long area, and KNJ is on the search, but he won't quite go all the way. I don't know if sound cues are being made. I've spotted some jumping, so the alarm can be raised, but Glaive's on his own for the time being. As far as so, they have faith in their teammate. He Molotovs the tease from a position to allow him to peek, and he lands himself a nice headshot. And there it is, Kirby rearing his ugly head again. The Grim Reaper whipping out the side. Device steals a kill away from him, but ultimately goes away with Astralis. 2 versus 1. It's not over just yet. This is winnable for Bolts. Bombs on the floor. Molly towards bank. Dupree, though, he's coming in from the back. 2 bursts from Dupree. Patient shooting from the man. Cool heads on Astralis. Good for their 4th round in a row.
Yeah, it's actually not often you see buy rounds where every single player gets 1 frag each on the CT side like that. But we saw it there. And interestingly, of course, Kirby was able to actually get another flank play. That's the 2nd time that he's able to catch the push off guard in that way. So that's something that Immortals have to think about in the future when they run rounds like that. But now they're down to a very poor economy. And as I said, you know, it really gets dangerous if Astralis win too many clean rounds, and this could really be the start of that. We'll have to see if Immortals can get some cheeky shots off. They do have a Deagle in play, a couple Tech 9s, some grenades too to work with, so they can run some cute tactics to try to get a couple kills here. But the bomb plant will be incredibly difficult as the other potential objective that they could have.
I love to see CTs getting aggressive around the short B position. So strong to hold this area, but Dupree, he may need some cover. Dupree don't need nothing. 2-man spray down from him. Get out of my sight. Get out of my area. Lucas and KNG, I mean, look, let's not get too excited. They've only got pistols, but it was quite pretty, Dan. It was very pretty indeed.
Purdy.
He's got the watercolors out and he's painting quite a picture. Mostly crimson, of course.
And Immortals have not been able to find damage. Indeed, that was a great opportunity. I thought he was dead for sure. I mean, we knew about the players in door there, and that's that spray, man. He believed. He's like, please be peek into this, because I'm not going to let go until I run out of bullets, please.
Get out of my sight.
It's a great start after the initial pistol round loss here for Astralis. And one thing that we haven't seen just yet is that one play that I mentioned where we see, you know, the flash over for, or in some instances actually, if the other team is afraid of a device or... Ooh, nice frag there from Lucas. Picks up a gun actually to hold that for a moment. But yeah, if the other team is afraid that device is AWPing from the party area and they won't rush players into a fast timing into that angle that you would be holding from there, that actually allows Kirby again to move on. He deserved it. He deserved that.
It, yeah.
Ooh.
And Device may feel like he deserves another kill, but he may have to wait for it. Again, short B. Oh, they're doing more than that. Kirby do 3. They've got somewhere to be. They're on a push. We haven't seen this since the days of CLG with Mr. I'm a Pet, now long gone. Nice early pick from Dupree.
That's amazing. That's like this early opening is like a default buster. That's almost like what I want to call it there, because often in the defaults you're going to have a player like lurking on the outside of the maps. Obviously you get Device puts that first bit of pressure there onto the party area, slows things down, so that allows Astralis to have more players towards B at the start of the round, so they can do that aggressive play. Again, it's a beautiful counter-strike from Astralis so far.
There's a nice boost for people at home to employ when you see those CT smokes go down. And to me, it almost feels like Kiabi are trying to, Astralis are trying to put Immortals in the most uncomfortable positions possible. It's like, we're going to take this away from you, which you expect, and now you need to try and cope in this situation, which may be very difficult for you to deal with. And Astralis are trying to exploit that, but Device will get picked off. 35 seconds remain, and all of Immortals are here, but Zipex is starting to flank.
Yes, great entry there from Immortals. They have won a duel, very important, and now the bomb can go down. But once again, Kirby, usually it's from toilets, but this time he just walked through the smoke there on long. Got himself only one frag this time, but it may be enough. We'll see Glaive picking up one, but Kianji were able to hold down the flank for the time being. And this is looking great now for Immortals. It's been a dry spell. Can it be saved here? Oh, missing a shot is Henny, and Glaive will save the day. Oh, what a steal there. Immortals going to be gutted about that one. They had a great chance. They did well to get into that position, but you can see the smiles there, the elation across the faces of the Danish players there of Astralis.
That was really unlucky timing, I have to say, for Immortals in that 1 versus 2, because when Glaive peeks, he sees complete information immediately. His line of sight, he has the player towards the toilets facing him, and he can see the arm of Henny as well. And he knows Henny doesn't have the angle, so as soon as he kills the first player, Henny misses the crucial shot, then he goes back to the well and finishes things off there. So perfect for Glaive, and he's pretty happy with that. Look at those veins pulsating out of his neck there, pulsating.
Popping.
6 in a row for Astralis.
This is a very fast play here from Immortals into Sewers. Oh, and this could have caught Device off guard, but you can see that he's able to actually fall back here, straight through the Molotov. And a nice headshot there. A fadeaway as he falls back into safety. He has taken some damage from the flames, but overall, of course, Astralis will be happy with this.
Ooh! Close, but not quite. Some more wall banging going on, and there's a brief for the T's as well. And that one will yield some results. And they've got Lucas making his way through Monster, so the short players can run distraction. Zipex, he's in his usual position. He's so strong from here, but he's looking the wrong way. But Lucas can't quite get the shot. And now it's all been revealed as dastardly plan the villains. Their plan is known, but can the heroes stop them?
Yeah, it's so important to have a player like Lucas there, just going for the play. So, all right, just going to make something happen right now. Gets that positioning, finds out that he can get his team in onto a bomb plant. Smokes all over the place, making Zipex's life a bit awkward, but he knows he just has to delay and hold on to this forward position. Whoa, what on earth was that? Henny takes down both Zipex and Glaive. Now Device trying to respond here, whiffs the shot. You can't be doing that, though. And now Kirby, he's just going to inspect his weapons. Not really much else to do in this situation. Waiting by the door at the moment. A 1 versus 4. Not really something that he can realistically expect to win.
Yeah, and despite 6 in a row, they don't really have the money to try and take as many weapons away as possible. He could really do with saving this one for his team. So, indeed, the villains will prevail in this situation. Villains because they're T's, not because they are from Bulgaria. 4th round on the board for Immortals, finally, after 6 from Astralis. So let's see, 3 players survive for Immortals, so they can spread the wealth and buy grenades as well. In situations like that, you definitely don't want to be surviving with only 1 player, just as the CTs did. So opportunity knocks for Immortals. They could break Astralis in this round.
Yeah, and again, I really like this. That's an insane double right there. Again, it's just like, how do you... it's just ridiculous.
Nice.
Beautiful stuff from Henny. Unexpected frag, but one he will be happy with. And it is something that, you know, I was looking for with Immortals, like that, those B players. I really wondered how they would handle that. And I love that they were confident to go brute force in. I have no idea how Lucas found that one. I think it's through the smoke, perhaps. Or no, actually around the side. Device perhaps out there for a bit too long. So we're crediting him for not overextending or being a player that characteristically doesn't tend to overextend. But there, you can see that it was abused. He was abused, and now he's on the bench for this round.
On the bench. Zipex alone towards the A site. Kiabi and Gabe with a connector play. Bolts rotating away from the B-Lurk, it seems, just in case there's a flank from the CTs. And there have been so many. Now the teams watching their backs all over the place. Lucas picked off, but so has been Zipex in the trays. KNG moving through the bank position. He's got a nice angle on Dupree, but will he stay on it? He's got 2 places to look at, and he continues to push forward, and that might end up being a problem. But it seems he has found somewhere to settle. And the CTs will slowly move away. Bolt searching for some kills towards T-spawn, and Kiabi, you can see he's set up already with his angle to allow his teammates to come to his position. Also important, whether he won that duel or not, is that he wasn't just standing there holding the angle 100% of the time. He's crouching and looking every few seconds, and that can really make a difference. That grenade sucks, yes, but it can make a difference, and it's something to learn at home. I think a lot of people at home will just, if you're holding an angle, just stand there the whole time, but if you just go behind the wall, come back out again, it can make a hell of a difference. Something to keep an eye on when you watch these players in GoTV.
This is a great comeback for Immortals. It's just like finding the right rounds to win here, to not allow Astralis' economy to get out of control, and also just obviously the right aggressions. And Immortals have to, and I know they are a team that are going to be like always, you know, brimming with confidence and not afraid to try to brute force it. And they've got a lot of firepower on their team, and it's very important that Astralis don't condition them to fear the CT setups too much, because if that does happen, because sometimes you need to take that aim battle, which is going to be, you know, let's say 30%, you know, you're going to be expected to win that perhaps. Sometimes you have to take those fights, and you can't really be conditioned out of that. You shouldn't be conditioned out of that. And this is what we're seeing, I think, in some sense from Immortals. They're just going to brute force their way in. Just like B, there's flames all over the place. I think 3 players were heavily tagged just moving into position without a frag, but they still managed to convert the round because they were confident to brute force. They know they had to get that element of map control, and then they've made the play, get that first entry, and then it just starts to go well from that point forward. So really cool to see this level of confidence from Immortals. In that preparation that they've done, it clearly shines through in that sense.
4 Ts towards the B bomb site. Again, you do see this from G2 as well, but I don't know that we saw it in the previous match, but there's lots more counter-strikes to come, and that is indeed, well, what has it done? It's a bad miss. Well, we may see a hasty play from Immortals on this occasion. Steel is making sure that Bolts doesn't get flanked through Connector by just sitting in Connector and holding an angle on the door. And again, for those of you at home, if you've got a player going into short B, make sure you've got a T holding that angle so he does not get pinched. KNG making his way through Monster, but Bolts will steal the second kill. Device is here, but he needs help.
Yeah, and he's going to get naded into Oblivion. Or if not into Oblivion, into just a desperate situation, as he hasn't really got any space to work with, can't really do anything with it once those nades are active. And indeed, it's going to be a save from Astralis. They decide that this is not worth the effort. They should rather take care of their economy and keep those guns. And I certainly agree with that one. Immortals themselves, you know, they're only just starting to build their economy. They're looking pretty good here because they've only lost 1 player in this round. So Immortals decided to take some serious control and momentum of this game. And for me, this matchup is all about how Immortals are able to deal with the CT side of Astralis. I feel as though if Immortals have a great start here, if they are able to get to the 7-8 rounds mark, I feel like they have a very strong chance to be able to win this map against Astralis. So looking good for the Brazilians, I would say, so far.
6-6. Here's the score. But Astralis, they've saved enough to have an impact on this round. By no means is this round over. Glaive's got 47.50 in the bank, so he can drop indeed. They'll buy around what they have. Would you expect anything less from the Danes? AWPs continue for both sides, and Device has got the best spawn possible to go for a peek. Somehow Kiabi's got in front of him though, so maybe it's not the best spawn possible. But indeed the peek will be there. Oh, he's missed a jump onto the bench, but he'll have a peek anyway. But players have passed already, so we've got the support set up, and I think Device will peek the balloon area from the toilets, and Kiabi will stand there and be a trade frag. No, Device has gone all the way back, so let's see how Kiabi deals with that position. With a raw peek, why not? Smoke is still there, and he will eventually start to back up, but he's got no support to help him do that. Indeed, there's the flash from Glaive, there's the support, but KNG is going to go straight through, traded. But that will favour the T's.
And Glaive unable to save his teammate, but he did what he could, and indeed got the trade. And taking a forward position here by the benches, it's quite a strong one. Especially if you can get those forward smokes down, it can be quite annoying for the T's to deal with. At the moment, Astralis obviously in this 4 versus 4, they didn't have a huge amount of grenades left, but it's enough really to allow them to go for a retake play onto the B, and they are playing retake B at the moment. They've got just 1 player on that bomb site so far. It's Glaive, and he's in a fairly passive position, so he can try to buy time unless he gets caught off guard, and that could happen. All the players from Immortals starting to burst out of the monster tunnel. How much can dupreeh do? There's one, we've seen him do incredulous things from that position, and it's looking good for the Danes.
Bolts and dupreeh exchange places in the smoke, but they know that dupreeh has disappeared. Bolts looking for him around the smoke. The continuation spray from dupreeh. Bolts runs straight back into it. 10 seconds for this bomb to go down, and Lucas is alone. A desperate situation. The CTs are too close, and the round is over. Astralis are back in the lead. 3 players survive for them as well, which is a big boost for the CT side. And one thing I didn't get to talk about in that round, when Kiabi's position was by that wall and the smoke was down, Device can stand in the middle of toilets and hold an angle and basically bait for his teammate while that smoke is down. But later on he repositions towards the site, and he's got Glaive by the toilet door on the off angle, the blind spot essentially, and then again Device is the initial peeker. So another bait and switch set up from Astralis, which we may see in a future round. But for now, Immortals are back on the buy, 7-6 for Astralis. Of course, Device is forward around the smoke once again.
Yeah, that he is, and it's a very fast round here from Immortals, and I think this is what the Doctor ordered. I mean, it's one way you can try to get ahead of some of these aggressions that Astralis will run. Just go super fast yourself, and if Astralis gets wrong with their early round play, you're going to catch them on a rotation. That's exactly what's happening right now, but Immortals have to go in right now. The push is coming in. The spray down from dupreeh is absolutely on point, and it just leaves 2 members for Immortals to try to salvage this one, and the bomb is in no man's land, and looks like the Danes have blood on their mind because they're going in for the kills. Yeah,
but they are subject to them as well. Down to the 2-1-2. Bolts on short B with the bomb. He can collect it, but he's going for some entries, or some kills rather. The entries have come and gone already. He's left the bomb there, and his teammates dropped in the meantime, leaving him in a 1 versus 2. He's got to be sharp. Glaive wishes he had an AK in that situation. Kiabi repositioning. If Kiabi runs outside the toilet area, Bolts, I think it might be too far away to hear him from that position, but Kiabi knows he can be heard in B from where he is, so he'll have to walk. And he's preying on the fact that Bolts knows Kiabi can come from a number of different positions. So what does Bolts do in this situation? Ooh, he's going to give the sound cues away, and Kiabi's there. He's by Optimus, and he will be transforming Bolts from alive to dead. There it is, 8-6 in favor of Astralis. 1 round remains in the first half.
That's a pretty cool clutch there. I mean, there to me, it's kind of a battle of, I don't want to say nerves necessarily, but it's like it's a confidence thing. Like Kirby's just like, I'm so confident that in my play here that I'm just going to walk all the way, and I'm happy that if I have to retake the B-bomb site, that's fine. And you have a situation there where, of course, his opponent was like, oh god, I'm just going to go for the run. And obviously, if your opponent did choose to just wait on the A-bomb site, you're dead 100% of the time. So it's really well played there by Kirby. And now it's the last round of the first half. Astralis looking to make it a 9-6. It's Glaive this time, peering over the smoke from the party position. Oh dear, he's
trapped. Just about manages to escape in the end. And in fact, it's Bolts who will be the first to go down. KG not far behind, still getting 1 kill, but this is a pretty fast-moving round at this point. Lucas just waiting in the playground with the bomb, and all the CTs start to go straight back to their respective sites. Zipek being trusted for the time being with the B-bomb site. Kiabi's there if needed, but not quite just yet. Oh, Henny, he had to land that, swiping in the smoke, but there's nobody there, no answer, no response.
It's a bit ridiculous, James. What is this? Oh dear. Bit awkward. And Device takes his position back.
They're dancing in the dark, and it's clumsy.
Okay, try number 2 perhaps. In comes Henny, and will he see Device? This is just so strange. Device gets it.
But you weren't expecting that.
So I don't even know like the level of mind games there. It's just like, what do you? Just how do you prepare for that?
Oh, the timing! Man, yeah. Unreal. The timing in Counter-Strike is always quite something. But it's a 4 versus 1. Ultimately, it's a 4 versus 1. Now it's a 3 versus 1. And Device is heavily tagged. He's had some fun around this area. Again, we've got that bait situation. He knows Device is there, but his teammate is ready. The coordination from Astralis is sharp. It's very sharp indeed. It's glorious. It's shiny. It's on a shelf in a shop window. It's great, Dan. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think one thing, obviously, we can notice that Device did have a struggle here or there to hit some of the shots which you'd normally expect him to hit. So Let's see if his team will lift him up, as they seem to be doing a pretty good job at the moment. Immortals, though, as I said, I feel like 6 rounds is so very workable for them. I think that CT side of Astralis is the most scary thing, I would say, to be up against. Also, if you start the map that way, it's one thing, you know, going against it on the second half, but if you start that way, what if they do have a really crazy CT side, which they have often had in the past, and get like a 12-3 scoreline on you? Then it's really hard.
Steel went 2 for 11 in that half. He's having a bit of a mare, as we might say in London. A nice mare.
London.
He's having a bit of a mare, mate. A bit of a mare. Quarter chips, please. 9-6. Indeed, they've got a fighting chance. Dan. D-A-N, Dan. Don.
As opposed to what, Dan? Why else would you spell that? Why was the specification required?
Don't know, man.
Specifically,
it's a flow of
D-A-N.
It's a flow of consciousness that requires the spelling of that particular 3-letter word, or name, if you will. The match is it's about to get underway. So we have 4 Kevlars on the Astralis team. Glaive has not purchased quite yet. Steel will have a defuse kit and 2 flashes. And Glaive indeed will be the grenade man on his team as well. 13 kills for Glaive. Really good. He's top fragging along with Kjabi as the in-game leader. And there was a time back in Carrigan's reign on Astralis when he would be doing the same. But it is in the hands of Glaive now. He's in the driving seat. All aboard. Grenade is being deployed. Smoke and a flash for Glaive later on. It's Apex lurking outside the B bomb site while 3 players try to do work on A.
Oh dear. Very scary situation. Lots of Glocks jumping in your face. Never a good look.
In your face.
And now we got a 5 versus 4 here for Astralis. And one of the great things here is, you know, they've closed the distance somewhat. The thing is that this last kind of 100 meters, well, not necessarily 100 meters, but this last little dash towards the A bomb site on long is really problematic. So I like that they're just deciding, okay, you know what, maybe there's a response from Immortals. Let's double back into more close quarter engagements, which they can find towards B. And that said, though, Immortals have a nice setup ready and waiting for them.
Oh, they are quite peppering, but haven't really found the stake. Immortals got themselves 1 kill, and now the numbers are dwindling for both sides. And now we see the bedlam, the anarchy of a pistol round, the variance, the back and forth. Immortals with 2 players, and the T4 all over the place. The bomb attempt hasn't come in just yet from Astralis. You wonder if they were considering a rotation. Either way, the kills will come in for the Danish team, and they make it to double figures.
I felt like there weren't many headshots in that pistol round. I feel like there's a lot of...
There weren't as many as you would normally
tags.
find, for sure.
Yeah.
But,
indeed.
Just around.
10-6. We've got 4 UMPs on Astralis. Pretty interesting stuff there. The Mac 10 on Dupree, so that means Dupree is going to get the information for the team. He's going to be the expendable player. He's going to try to find out where these force buying players of Immortals are lurking, so his teammates can avoid those areas.
Ooh, Kjabi getting the ding, but not the dong. Just the bell rung once. There's some more bells being run on the overhead train track. Warning signs. Don't throw your grenades because they will be blockerinoed. Pistol spam will, well, it's Lucas actually to go down to half health, but we are waiting for the eventual push from Astralis. It is coming in from the short B position. So far, so good. Never mind. That changes very quickly indeed, and then goes back towards their way. And that round is over.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how you commentate that, because it's like, you said like 3 words, and you can't even adjust, James. You can't, there's no time. Indeed. Everyone's dead.
But what there is time for, once we go back into the game, is some appreciation for the trees, the plants, the foliage on overpass. I just noticed, Dan, that there's like overhanging plants in T-spawn. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Look at the trees. Look at that tree. That tree kind of sucks, let's be honest, but there are much nicer trees around the map of overpass, and I like that. As a fan of trees, look at that overhang. Look at that. That is glorious. Disguising the ugly vent, which serves no purpose in this regard. Beautiful stuff.
Well, away from foliage for a moment, and back into UMPs and pistols. Dupree with an opening there towards bolts. Obviously, the full save is in play for Immortals, so it's not a happy time for them at the moment, it could be said, because Astralis, they're just able to chill with these weapons, make some money, make some bank with the UMPs. And again, Astralis are one of the teams that are very disciplined. They're very routine and drilled when it comes to playing anti-ecos. So it's rarer that you'll see them sort of put a foot wrong, so to say, and lose too many players in a round like this.
Slowly making their way towards the A site. Interestingly, it's I think compared to some A sites on different maps, I think it's somewhat difficult to throw a Molotovs onto the spots on the site where you would argue they are needed without being completely exposed for potential quick peek. So in that respect, it's interesting the pushes into the site on the anti-eco. There we have Mr. Glaive on the left and Mr. Henny on the right. Ooh, Lucas.
Got that double AWP, man.
Lucas.
We got that double AWP on the CT side.
I knew it wasn't Henny, I don't know why I said Henny. Anyway, 12 to 6, double AWPs indeed. Not many grenades, but definitely double AWPs. And Astralis have got the perfect counter, rushing into the B bomb site. What can you do about this, Immortals? They're in there, and they're being forced back to CTs. This is really awkward stuff from them.
I wonder if this is a read, that this would be the buy, and as you mentioned, the perfect response and counter from Astralis. Very smart if that's the case, but otherwise, hell of a retake on the hands of Immortals. However, they've managed to pick up Kirby. They've got a man advantage now, but much more is to be done as they look to gain positioning. Angie able to help them out there, taking down Dupree, but much more to be done from this vantage point. Ooh, oh, another fantastic shot there from Kianji as he peers over the top of the balcony with that AWP and device. He's got so much damage to do here, but he's stuck in the corner by the sandbags, and he is going to be left there.
That was, considering the adjustment we saw him make, that was a really sweet shot from Mr. KNG. Damn, that was nice. But what's not nice from Immortals is a 5-round deficit. There is much work for them to do on their CT side. So we'll see if they're able to do it. Lots of money on the Astralis team. Maybe see.
Ooh, give it to us. Here we go. There's one. Oh, there it is.
Boom.
That's satisfaction right there.
So quick.
And what an important shot as well. And a very pressured situation. And it has been said by the members of Immortals that he is an incredibly confident player to play with. So it's good to see that he fears no man. We see a trade very early on here between the two teams, and a passive response from Immortals. But they're very fast responses. Astralis just really just booking it straight up towards the A-long area. Oh, Bolts turns away, still gets a kill and a dink. But there's a trade there from Device. This is an insanely fast round.
Another very quick round indeed. Many players have been lost. Steel is miles away. He is miles away from his teammate. He needs a bus to get there in time. Maybe Lucas can hold things down. Bomb's going to get planted. And Astralis will start to wonder, where is Steel? Why hasn't he made an appearance here? And maybe he will make one soon because Glaive is exposed. Down he goes. That leaves Device with the AWP. 2 for him to find. Smokes it down and Steel could replenish that smoke. He's got one in the hole. And I think he might do exactly that, but Device has got the angle. The flashbang over the wall, though. Device will not be ready for it. Doesn't get the shot. He's being patient, though. It's not planted for him either. Going for the wallbang. Has to get a fast shot. And he won't quite do it. The bomb's been defused, and he'll get taken down as well. Of course, the AWP will be stolen. It's good times for Immortals.
Yeah, that's a massive round to win. An absolutely huge round to win. We'll see if they can continue with such winning tendencies. Oh, we can see the AWP duel there. Very nicely done. And I'm curious now whether Immortals will decide to actually try to go aggressive. I mean, it could be a great spot now for Kianji to try to get his AWP in there aggressively. Henny as well, obviously, two AWPers that can really thrive in aggressive scenarios. They are going to actually play fairly passively at the moment. And Astralis will develop some control quickly towards Connector. And I wonder if Zipex will just hold down Monster, if he'll try to... Oh, we can see some legs. He got tagged in his leg though. That's actually a great shot there. I think that was from... Henny.
It was from someone. That's
from someone with an AWP. No, it's from Candy.
Steel's made his way. He pushed Monster and got a pick on Zipex and has gone straight back into the site. So that's the lurker taken down for Astralis. Nice timing from Immortals, but will it help them win the round? That is the question. We see some shortcomings from Astralis. Dupree on the CZ, not less than ideal for him. Device towards long, nobody picking just yet though. Henny announcing some, well, letting off some warning shots. I was going to say his position, but there are 2 ops on the server for Immortals. KNG towards the B bomb site with Steel in tow. 48 seconds for Astralis to take this back.
And here they go. With the cover of smokes, they will emerge onto the A bomb site or try to. Henny absolutely devastating this push. Lucas comes in, denied by Glaive, but Glaive, he's lost too many of his comrades. Oh, that's a very nice fadeaway shot, but 30 seconds to go. And this is a very hard situation to play. Obviously, Immortals, with all the information, they know there's no play back into the B-bomb site. Oh no! No way! Glaive makes his way in, finds KNG, completely catches him off guard, and now he must know that the player's coming from the toilet's position. Glaive with it all to do here, with the right reads, going back towards bank here, it's planted for him. Now he's actually in advantage. It's Steel who has all the work to do. So he makes his way in for the A's. Can he make it happen? No, it's Steel to clutch it, to save the day for his team. And
maybe in the grander scheme of things. Anyway, 12-9, and we are back into the game. The AWPs, the double AWPs, are still in effect on the CT side. And it is indeed pistol time. Round was restored, so pistols will be bought again for Astralis. They've got some Molotovs. So it seems there is an execute to be had. I would guess the B bomb side then, because I think they would need more smokes than they have bought.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely correct. And you see the Molotovs as well. Like, they're going to buy things for purpose in that respect. You know, Molotov water, for barrels, for jungle. Like, they have all the Molotovs. Or even potentially, instead of maybe jungle, maybe the Molotov on the short position first to allow to slow the CTs down in taking sewers. I think you're absolutely right here. So we'll see if that's the case. We've got 3 players going towards the B-bomb side at the moment, so it might not be a really fast one then. But they should very well finish on this B-bomb side. With the Tech 9s as well, it's a very good option. But the CTs are taking sewers aggressively. This creates problems for Astralis because they can't really challenge it effectively.
Yeah, I like how KNG just brazenly opens the door and peeks at the AWP. Perhaps they have a good read on the most Astralis can offer in this round, but the most will start with a Deagle kill. And now KNG is going to get taken down in the rotation. It's a 5 versus 3, and they've picked up an AWP and Kevlar and, an M4. 3 kills now for the Astralis side. What a complete disaster, but Bolt, maybe he can bring it back.
Yeah, tossing an HE in there, it's going to whiff, gets the flames in there, also going to not be too useful here. In fact, it actually sort of helps the T's in some respect here as they now get the smoke down. Bolt's trying to close the distance quickly here. Going for another smoke, trying to press the bomb. M4 comes out, it's not good enough though, it's down to Henny here. He is a quick draw with his AWP. Often uses like a shotgun, goes for the no-scope, misses, and it's going to be the pistols, the Tech 9s that completely catch everyone off guard. And that entry frag from Dupree was pristine. Pristine, James.
I want to see how on earth he found an angle for that. That is a completely insane. And then it was just a disaster after that, man. It was a complete disaster. It's like, well, let's have a look at the shot first.
Whoa, that is pretty godlike. I think he had a slight geometric advantage there, but it's only so minimal. The other guy has an AWP, so it doesn't really matter.
Look what it's done to the economy of Immortals. They've
Crazy.
got Mag 7s coming out. It's a force fire. It's force fire territory for them. They were in such a good position, and now their position has been taken away. Once I went fishing, right?
Okay.
And I didn't have any fishing stuff, and I cast my line out, and a swan was flying past, and it closed line the swan, and the swan crashed into the bank. That is what I would call a disaster, Dan, and that's how I would compare what we just saw in that previous round.
Was that the first and last time you went fishing?
More or less.
All right. Astralis 13 rounds now, and in the previous round I sort of said, okay, Immortals have to win this round with 4 players live. As you can see, the result of just losing that round outright, it is not a pretty sight. And Astralis, all they have to do is just run just a regular good anti-force by round, and they should be good to go here.
Steel and Lucas tried to run boost over Monster, and it just completely ended in failure in the meantime. So it seems that everything good that was happening for Immortals has disappeared like the rabbit in the magician's hat. 46 seconds remain for Astralis. KNG moving through the long area, common position for anti-ecoing Ts. And Glaive is almost on his 6 just by chance. KNG peaks. That was sure to happen. Kiabi had a great angle. The numbers start to dwindle.
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, Astralis, after taking that initial map control, they're taking the forward positions away. They hold. They just hold, they wait for a push, they get it from KNG, and now it's time to go for Astralis. They send the Zipex in for information towards B, and this is kind of funny, actually, because ideally, he actually catches players there and keeps them from rotating, but in fact, actually, it's a free bomb site, but there's no time to rotate back there anyway, so it's kind of a funny mistiming, as it were. So everything's fine, though. Immortals were not able to get to the A bomb site quickly enough to really cause too many issues, or did they? We get a nice frag there from Steel, but still, they're going to go for a defuse. There's no kit. The spray down is in play, and that's going to be a wrap. 14-9. Astralis only 2 away now from taking Overpass away. It looks so good for Immortals, but now it's all looking quite grim.
Yeah, it's looking less than ideal, to put it kindly. So now it's just forced by town for Immortals from start to finish. Lucas going for the Deagle, as will KNG, or KNG if you prefer, as will Bolts. Henny with the scout. It is actually officially Hen 1, but he does not mind being called Henny. Obviously in the West we're used to the 1 being an I and so on and so forth, so people just adapt. 14-9, desperate times for Immortals. Astralis can afford this slow approach and prey on the desperation of their opponents. And he spotted towards long, unable to have the success that Device did so far, that is, with these scouts, when he needed it in the first half. But there's plenty of time to try and get some tags.
And he's one of those AWPers that's like really, really good at... I think NES is very much like this as well. Like really good at sort of, if a player goes behind an object, he just somehow just nails like understands like how fast the model's moving, and he just gets it perfect no matter the distance the player is away. If that was an AWP instead of a scout, I think he actually gets a tag there through the boulder or something, because that was on point there from Henny. But alas, he was on the mere scouts. Doesn't do too much from that range through objects. This is very tense stuff here for Immortals. Astralis looking to close in onto match point here, and they're once again running an anti-force buy round. They're moving up towards toilets and long as well, and using all their grenades and the utility to make everything safe. And they are soon to the A-bomb site.
There goes Bolts. Steel and KNG just now rotating from the B bomb site, and let's see, there's a wall of smoke, 3 smokes long through the A bomb site, but opportunity is slowly being lost. Oh, it's going to be hard for him to stop Astralis from getting... Wait a minute, they just got themselves 2 kills. So 3-on-3 though. They've still got only the scout and the 2 pistols, and the bomb's planted on the other side of the boxes, but the kills continue to rain in. What the hell's going on? Glaive getting tagged, and there's Henny again with the scout. Henny with 3 kills. Where did that even come from?
The man's good with a scout. He's good with a sniper rifle, James. He is very good with a sniper rifle, and that makes things interesting. Now things just got really interesting. Obviously, like, Immortals were in this like, very impossible situation, and because of the way their money was, but now there's a bit of spice to this this overpass. All of a sudden, we've got a very good situation on the guns now for Immortals, thanks to that brilliant play from Henny with that scout, and they can stave off the match point for the time being of Astralis, perhaps, or onto Henny. The only issue is that he has no Kevlar and no grenades either yet. Is he going to have the ability